Welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Anthony Everett. So, it is official. The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed a cornerback to a deal. And this cornerback participated in a minicamp tryout alongside some other veterans the Pittsburgh Steelers brought in to see if they can make the roster. Obviously, when the rookies were here for this 3 days, the last 3 days during rookie minicamp, they held some tryouts as well with veterans, and Anthony Everett has landed a contract with the team per PF Talk. So, looking at this contract, Everett agent told PFT that it's a 1-year deal, although the financial terms were not disclosed as of yet. Obviously, in the next couple of days or this next week, we're going to see exactly how much he's making and things like that. But more than likely, it's just going to be the veteran minimum and something the Pittsburgh Steelers are adding in terms of a camp body and someone to participate in training camp and things like that. Obviously, they like what he showed during the tryouts, enough to sign him to this kind of short-term contract as of so far. Looking at Everett, he's an experienced cornerback who spent time with both the San Francisco 49ers and Detroit Lions last season, although he did not see the field at all last year in 2023. However, he was also a part of the Baltimore Ravens from 2018 to 2021 and also spent 2022 with the Las Vegas Raiders. His time with the Ravens should make him very familiar to Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, and maybe part of the reason the Steelers even gave him a tryout to begin with. And it makes him so used to this AFC North football type of brand. And he'll now play on the other side of the rivalry, even if it's not in the regular season. Maybe it's in the preseason. Maybe it's just being on the practice squad. He's now part of the other side of the rivalry, the Pittsburgh Steelers, instead of the Baltimore Ravens. This is now like what, the third player, the fourth player, whatever the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed from the Ravens this offseason that have played with the Ravens in the past. For example, Patrick Queen, Deshaun Elliott. I think there's one more missing. But this is another player the Steelers are signing from the Baltimore Ravens. And now the Steelers get a cornerback. And for his career, it's not like he hasn't played a lot. He actually has played a lot at the cornerback spot, even though he didn't play all of last season. When you look at his statistics in terms of just games played, he actually played 14 games for the Baltimore Ravens in 2021 and started all of them. Throughout his career in 2018, he played 11 games, 2019, 9, 2020, 10, like I said, 2021, 14, and 2022, 7. So he has experience in this league in terms of games played and things of that nature. And looking at his stats, he's been quite productive as well. 2021 was kind of his breakout year, getting 3 interceptions that season. But for his career, Everett, he has 114 tackles, 3 interceptions, 23 pass defense, in 51 games and 27 starts. So he profiles as another option to work on outside cornerback, as he only really has 139 career snaps in the slot. So if the Pittsburgh Steelers do end up signing him to the 53-man roster, if he shows out enough to be able to make that team, then he would be projected to play outside cornerback. But the Steelers really have a lot of depth in that area. That's why this signing kind of really doesn't make sense in terms of long-term value for him to actually see the playing field. This might just be a short-term thing, like I said, a camp body, because the Steelers have depth at the outside position, and they really need someone to play slot cornerback, not outside cornerback. They have Dante Jackson already, in which they trade for this offseason. Obviously, they have Joey Porter Jr., Corey Trice Jr. They also have Rush from last season coming back as well. So the Pittsburgh Steelers also have Ryan Watson, which they drafted. And all these guys are more outside cornerbacks based off where they've played in college or where they played in the league so far. And they really just need someone to play the slot cornerback role. So if he has any chance of making this roster, he may have to make a transition to the slot and not be just purely an outside cornerback, in which he has been throughout his career. Obviously, the slot cornerback remains a need for the Steelers. They really like what they're seeing out of undrafted rookie Beanie Bishop Jr., but obviously he was an undrafted player for a reason. The Steelers brought him in. Omar Khan said some glowing things about him. Maybe he could earn a role right away, but we're going to have to wait and see on him. But anyway, this is a signing the Pittsburgh Steelers have made today, signing Anthony Everett. He was a 4th-round pick by the Ravens in the 2018 NFL Draft when he came out of the college, Alabama. His best season was in 2021, and hopefully he could get back to playing on that level and not basically what he's done the last couple of years. Also, I don't see a very clear path to him seeing playing time in terms of making the final roster, but obviously in the playing time will come through the preseason, OTAs, training camp, and he's have to earn a spot from there. He's a veteran, could help these young guys. He's 29 years old, so hopefully he could come in and be a mentor to some of these younger players, in which the Pittsburgh Steelers have a lot at the cornerback position. But anyway, the Pittsburgh Steelers have made the signing today. And as it stands right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers now have 2 more open roster spots after the signing. I mean, you could expect maybe 2 more players to be signed here in a couple of days. So, looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers just rookie minicamp tryout players, because as I said, this was a person who tried out at minicamp. Obviously, he was not a rookie, was not an undrafted guy. He's a veteran, but you're allowed to bring in players to try out. So this was a guy the Pittsburgh Steelers signed out of a tryout player. Looking at some of the other players that have tried out for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm just going to go through the list here really quickly. They have tried out kicker Mark Jackson out of Ireland, an international pathway program player. They've also tried out Caleb Shadak, a kicker as well, out of Iowa. They've tried out Darian McKenzie out of Merrimack. And they've also tried out Bryce Shepard out of Kent State, a safety. They've tried out Kendrick Anderson, a cornerback out of Grambling. Marquise Williams, cornerback out of Pitt University. They tried out Porter Wilson, a punter out of Duke. They tried out Aries Dennis, quarterback out of Benedict College. They've tried out Anthony Everett, like I said, this cornerback that they signed out of Alabama. They tried out DJ Powell, a wide receiver. They tried out Rajon Pringle, a wide receiver out of Villanova. They tried out Cole Dowell, wide receiver out of Dayton. They tried out Jonathan Ward, a running back out of Michigan. They've also tried out Johnny Lumpkin, tight end out of Louisiana. They tried out Bradley Robinson, long snapper out of Ohio State. Jordan Dominic, linebacker out of Colorado. Phil Jukoff, tight end out of Pitt. Jaquez Bristol, defensive tackle of Central Michigan. Jet Stanley, defensive tackle of Sacramento State. Johnny Hudson, defensive tackle of Fresno State. And Trey Brown, center out of Jacksonville State. So these are a lot of players the Pittsburgh Steelers have tried out, and obviously Anthony Everett was the one that stood out the most out of all these tryouts and all these workouts and all these drills that they were put through. He's the one who stood out, and he's the one who got the contract to make this roster. So far, obviously this is the only sign that has been made, but I've heard a little bit of rumblings around some other players that have stood out so far in these tryouts. For example, one of them being the veteran running back Jonathan Ward. Also heard some great things about one of the kickers the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying out, in terms of he's made every single kick so far that he's attempted in the tryouts. I've also heard some great things about some cornerbacks, Marquise Williams. So, in the next coming days, the Pittsburgh Steelers may be signing some of these players to a 90-man roster contract, or maybe they're saving it for a free agent that's still out there, or maybe a big move, a trade that needs to be happened. But anyway, the Steelers have 2 open roster spots as of now. They signed this player to a contract. But let me know down in the comments below how you feel about the signing of Anthony Everett. Do you believe, like I believe, he's just going to be like training camp body? Probably won't make the 53-man roster. Maybe make the practice squad. But practice squad is still a part of this team. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about the signing. Is it average? Do you like it? And if you think he can make the roster, what do you think he could bring to the table in terms of playing on this team? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, signings, breaking news, everything. Every player we signed, I made an introduction like this about them, and it's on the channel, so go ahead and check it out. And also, I'm covering everything through training camp, everything going on through OTAs. I already covered some of the minicamp stuff, and just throughout the season, I'm covering all Pittsburgh Steelers as well. So this is the spot to be if you want updates on everything. If you want to listen to it and not have to read it, this is a spot for you. But anyway, make sure you turn on notifications to this channel, and also like, comment, and subscribe. But I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.